Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is Who Owns the Moon by the channel VSAUCE. This video was originally uploaded 2013 but has been unavailable for more than a year. Basically, a channel shouted out in the first person asked to be removed. That's okay. No, slightly. What? He gave a shout out to a channel and then channel like, yo, I don't want to be associated with you or something like that. Is that it? That's weird. So yeah, who owns the moon? I do, it's mine. But in a serious note, nobody. I think there's a rule somewhere, Geneva Convention or something like that, some treaty that says nobody can own anything in space. Obviously there are loopholes there are some technicalities, I think, since I guess they didn't have a good lawyer or something, so they didn't word it right. I think no nation can own it. I think that was a big thing. I remember a few years ago there was a big thing about this when everybody was talking about moving to Mars and things like that. So this topic came up that no nation can own it, but some industry or individual probably can. But I think this is all technicalities. Nothing is enforcing anything. I'm pretty sure if any Russia or USA just decide to go somewhere and say this is mine, I have a military, then put military there or something like that, are they really gonna say, yeah, but you signed this treaty? Who gives a fuck about that? So this is all just formalities. If some government becomes powerful enough and can go to some place and just claim for their own, that's gonna happen. There might be space wars too. Knowing our human history where we fought everything everywhere, even today we are constantly fighting each other and don't give a crap about human toll that it takes. Yeah, there's going to be war in space. There's no doubt about it. Space is a planet, not space. Fighting in space is kind of dangerous. So yeah, let's see what VSAUCE says about it. Remember people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction today. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast for all the plays. Check out the end cards. And if there is a checkered box in this video, well, VSAUCE, Real Life Lore, Kurz Gesagt, or some channels, some videos, some older videos have this, not just copyright thing but blocking thing. It just gets blocked in certain countries like US and things, and that's where most of my views comes from. So I have to put checkered box. I don't care about copyright, but if it gets blocked, that's an issue. So I don't know, this video might get blocked, might not, so there might be a checkered box. So yeah, let's watch this one.
Hey VSAUCE, Michael here. Gregory W. Nimitz registered some land containing $492 quintillion worth of platinum. The land was right here, well, over here, an asteroid named 433 Eros. Not a single sovereign nation on Earth recognizes human claims to extraterrestrial real estate, but he did it anyway. And then
I call dibs. This is mine. Yeah, right. Like if Elon Musk just masters all the rockets and things, masters space, and has the resources to go mine that asteroid, what is he going to do? Standing here on planet just screaming in the sky to Elon Musk like, don't do that, that's mine. Really? Elon Musk gonna, yeah, I guess that you just filled the paper, so I'm not gonna take that. Screw that. If Elon Musk can mine that asteroid, he's gonna do that.
Less than a year later, NASA landed a probe on the asteroid. They called it the first asteroid we had ever landed a probe on. Nimitz called it parking space number 29 and promptly sent NASA a $20 parking ticket.
$20?
But so far, NASA and the US Attorney General have dismissed the fine, saying that his claim to own the asteroid is without legal merit. But why? Plenty of organizations exist that will gladly take your money in return for land on the moon, Venus, Mars. And if you had enough money to go to the moon, nothing is legally stopping you.
When it comes to the law, Supreme Court constantly creates new precedents wherever they go. So at best he's gonna claim this like there is no law that says that I can't own this. It will probably go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court will say, what are you talking about? This is stupid. No, you can't own an asteroid. Get out of here. So that's a new precedent. Like, yeah, individual can't own a land too. That would be a new precedent in the US, you said, but what about other countries? Well, other countries' government and their Supreme Courts will come to the same conclusion. Like, no, you don't own anything. Get out of here. Whoever lands that or mine that, it's there. So, you know, yeah, whoever can do something about it, it's there or something like that. This question will be a massive question in 100 or so years when everybody masters space, everybody and even the industries can just go to space and do whatever. Then this is going to be an issue. Like, what if somebody, some form of army just goes to a planet and this is my planet, anybody comes close, they attack? What you do then? There's where the first proper, you know, UN type, like how after World War II there was a, you know, all these peace conferences, something like that global conference will be held. Like, what are we going to do about this? But right now, this is just, he says, and whatever. It doesn't matter right now.
From moving there, building a house with a significant other, having some kids, and turning your moon house into a moon home. It wouldn't be trespassing or squatting or stealing. The
because nobody cares right now.
Moon Treaty says that no one can own any part of outer space ever, but only 11 states have signed it. However, 129 nations have signed and or ratified the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which says that outer space is not subject to national appropriation.
Yeah.
It says nothing about a private individual or a company owning part of outer space. But without the recognition and support of at least one sovereign nation,
yeah, owning is a very relative subject. First of all, there is no government, there are no countries there. So what do you mean by owe? Who's recognizing that as you owe something? You can just claim that and defend your position for that claim. It's literally, you know, Wild West type of thing. There is no country there, there is no organization there, because it's fucking moon. I mean, who's gonna say you own that? What, Earth government? I don't recognize Earth government. I'm not on Earth, I'm on moon. He could say that. So there is no rules. There would be nobody that could enforce anything there. Because if somebody's powerful enough, go there and just claim that and have put military there, nobody gonna do jack shit about it. So yeah, it's...
What does ownership really mean? I mean, I can claim anything I want. I can claim to own Prospect Park in Brooklyn. But just saying that I do, or even moving there and living in Prospect Park, wouldn't entitle me to the rights that usually go along with ownership.
Yeah, but Prospect Park is part of the United States, which falls under the United States government and the laws of United States and under Supreme Court. You will have to answer to all of them. There is no such thing in the moon, so you could do anything on the moon. Like, you could say this particular part is mine, I'm gonna build a house, then I'm gonna live there. Nobody can do anything about that.
Unless someone with a bunch of power agreed that I owned it and could enforce that ownership and keep others from claiming to also own it. In the past, explorers had few qualms about claiming to own land even if other humans were already there, because they had power on their side, namely plenty of guns, germs, and steel.
You have to defend
it. To paraphrase con artist Canada Bill Jones, you know what beats 4 aces? A gun. Or as Loblaw pointed out, McDonald's actually...
That's so... You know what beats 4 aces? A fucking gun, and just pulls out the gun. I just imagining that scenario. Yeah, it's all Wild West. I mean, that's the thing. You can't do anything. Screw at the outside of... Right now, every country has their laws. There are people to enforce that laws, so yeah, understandable. There is no laws or governments on the moon. If you can defend a place and just claim that it's yours, who's gonna do anything about it?
Actually does serve breakfast after 10:30 if you have a gun. If you claimed some land on the moon as your own and moved in...
Yeah, there is a United States government, the laws, Supreme Court, police, and even if need be, military says otherwise. Like, even if you have a gun, you can't buy a burger because you'll be in jail.
Would you also have to hire your own lunar police and cislunar military to defend it and to keep others from challenging your claim? Pretty much. That's kind of the problem. Currently, it is risky for individuals or corporations to claim and use extraterrestrial territory because the Outer Space Treaty says that outer space is the common heritage of mankind. It belongs to all of us.
Yeah, no industry is gonna do anything about it because, first of all, industries are not going to be the pioneers. They are not going to be on the frontier, because you cannot talk to your board of directors and tell them this is how much it's going to cost, what is the yield, I don't know, because it's the first time we are doing it. How much losses we're going to suffer, I don't know, this is the first time we're doing that. That meeting is not going to be successful. So government are the only person who can actually do the frontier work, and when something's established, government puts their stamp on it, then industries can step in. Then they know how much, what's going to cost, what are we going to do, and how we are going to serve that to customers so we make money. I mean, basically industries cannot just go against government, because then they are alienating customers too, and they are not going to do something frontier work because they don't know how much it's going to cost. They cannot justify that to the investor. So when we talk about something like this, no industry is going to do anything about it. Elon Musk is a anomaly. I don't know how successful he's going to be with SpaceX. Let's just hope he is successful. But I feel like in the end, governments have to do the frontier work. Tax dollar is the only thing that's going to do unknown work. Industries need something. They can't just do unknown work because they don't know if they're going to make profit or not.
And only to all of us. Many interpretations of the Outer Space Treaty predict that powerful things like nations would be reluctant to come to your defense should someone else want to move in or cause trouble or dispute your extraterrestrial claim. Maybe you could get a sovereign nation to weigh in on your behalf by declaring universal jurisdiction, but that would need to be for an incredibly terrible, heinous crime, a crime against all of humanity, not just a dispute over a few space rocks. Catherine Dolderina from the Institute of Air and Space Law at McGill University suggests that considering outer space the common heritage of mankind has slowed space exploration. You see, the Outer Space Treaty was based on the Antarctic Treaty, which says that the entire continent shall never become the scene or object of international discord. Discord is not a good thing, but without an incentive to profit from it, not much has happened there.
Yeah, it doesn't stop people like Americans, Canada, France, Russia to go to Antarctica and try to get resources from that. Yeah, you have the law there, but that's not doing shit.
As opposed to the Arctic, where a resource boom is currently underway. If people felt safer appropriating and taking advantage of space, of celestial bodies, if technological development was more incentivized, would we already have orbiting tourist attractions and lunar hotels? Maybe.
No, I don't believe that.
But here is what you can currently own in outer space. Stuff you put
No, what you're basically saying is some kind of a treaty, some kind of a paper was signed, and that's, preventing people from doing things on space. If people can do things on space, if they find profit there, they're not going to care about some paper. They will find some loopholes here and there. They will justify it because of something. Yeah, like I say, industries are not going to do shit. It's always up to countries. And if countries can justify that we can go there and there is a way to mine something or mine moon and bring resources and get rich in the process, countries will be, places like USA will be there like that and start to mine. They're not going to care about some treaty. So I don't believe that.
There, and to a certain extent, orbits. The Outer Space Treaty says that the stuff we left on the moon, anything put into space, remains property of the original owner forever. Orbits around Earth are temporarily granted by the International Telecommunication Union, a UN agency, but they don't work like typical real estate on Earth. When a group of equatorial nations attempted to claim orbits above their land boundaries without planning on putting satellites there, their claim was largely ignored. So you not only need to ask the UN for an orbit and get permission, you also need to use it and fill it. It's a little disappointing that we don't know how
Yeah, it's just mediator type of thing. Those UN, UN's organization, ITU, whatever that was, they can't enforce anything, but it makes it easier so you don't go into conflict with other countries. Your satellite doesn't collide with other satellites and shit like that, or somebody wants to launch a satellite in that particular orbit, you do that too, and there's an issue. Things like that doesn't happen, so it's a mediator type of thing. Now if you just say this is my space, you know, in top of my land, so you can't have that, people are gonna get, shut the fuck up, I'm launching, what you gonna do about it? And this UN organization is like, I have backing of every single country in the world. You are nothing in front of me. I'm going to ignore you. And if you talk too much, I'm going to ban you from launching satellite at all. And if you do, you're going to have heat from the all country or something like that. So that's automatic power.
Lunar real estate works, or if it will. But it's exciting to know that we, within our lifetimes, might have a chance to be part of the solution. A unique generation not visiting space for the first time, but homesteading it for the first time. Here's another unresolved space law quandary.
I remember playing Borderlands 2 that had that moon thing there. You know, that had, you know, I think I'm Borderlands 2, right? There was a moon thing. I think so. Wait a minute, was that moon or space station? I don't know, I'm confusing it. But I remember, I think it was Borderlands 2. I remember a game where I was seeing the moons and that had this kind of lights on it. And there was another game, I think it was Borderlands 2, pre-sequel or whatever, where we go and there is colony at there too. So I love seeing that, like, look at that, there are people there. I cannot wait for colonies to be established on moon. I mean, obviously for that we need to master lots of technology just to be able to live on the moon. But once we do it, it will be so surreal to see in the sky there are, you know, lights and just, you know, series of lights running towards like that indicates that there are colonies there. That would be so cool to see.
If an alien landed in your backyard, intelligent life from beyond Earth, and you shot it with a gun, dressed it, and then cooked up you and your family some alien meat fajitas, would that be hunting or murder?
Yeah, murder for our entire planet. If an alien comes here at our planet, that's definitely travel across the interstellar space, not interplanetary space, because we are damn sure there is no intelligent being in our solar system apart from us. So that's definitely travel through interstellar space, which means it has technology beyond our comprehension, which means wherever it came from, if they get pissed, they could fuck us over easily. So if you shot on an alien, let's just say that's the start of a Hollywood movie that doesn't end well.
We literally don't know. On Earth, we have human rights, but there are no alien rights. Maybe it would fall under the category...
Like I said, laws constantly create precedents whenever the cases go to the court. I'm pretty sure the new precedent would be created as soon as that happened when things go to court. Like, that was an intelligent being that you shot. That's just like killing a human, so that was murder or something like that, and that's the new precedent. I'm pretty sure in the law always checks the past cases that was similar and takes the guidance from that.
Of cultural vandalism, an act that's not necessarily illegal, but is a giant bummer to the rest of humanity. This has happened before, not with aliens, but with paintings. In 2003,
maybe with alien. Roswell, hint hint.
Chapman brothers purchased one of the few remaining sets of Goya's fantastic Disasters of War. Instead of displaying the works for the public, they defaced them by drawing clown and puppy heads on the people. They called the work Insult to Injury. In protest, a man threw red paint on Jake Chapman when he appeared at Modern Art Oxford, but at the end of the day, what the Chapman brothers did wasn't illegal. They owned.
Yeah, but it's just art. Art is, you know, sentimental thing. It's subjective. It's kind of thing like, yeah, who gives, in the end, at the core, killing an intelligent being is not same as destroying an art. Art in the end just have value because people say, who gives a fuck about art? In the end, court will be like, yeah, this is the biggest issue, isn't it? Somebody destroyed an art. Fuck off of here, man. So it's not the same comparison.
The paintings. Vandalizing the moon or killing a peaceful alien aren't illegal acts, but just like defacing historical paintings, they seem wrong on some deeper level, especially because in most museums, you usually can't even touch the paintings. But who was the first person to touch the moon with their bare hands? I mean, the guys who walked around on the moon wore spacesuits. They had material in between their skin and the moon.
Yee.
Well, to be sure, you already have the moon in your hands. Well, little moons. Lunula, the crescent-shaped area at the base of your fingernail where tissue is thicker and the red vascular structures underneath are more hidden, making it white. And to be even more sure, at the quantum level, touch is problematic. As I've covered before, atomically speaking, matter never really contacts other matter in the conventional sense. You can't truly touch anything. Minute physics called it interaction over a short distance.
Yeah.
With that in mind, NASA says that Terry Slezak was the first person to touch the moon with his bare hands. He was a technician in quarantine who accidentally got lunar soil smeared all over his hand while removing film magazines from the astronauts' cameras. But when Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the lunar module after their moonwalk and removed their helmets, they came into contact with lunar dust they'd tracked in on their suits. They even reported its odor, saying it smelled of spent gunpowder or ashes, possibly because it oxidized on contact with the air in the cabin. Point is, the first few breaths of moon-dusty air that Armstrong and Aldrin took in were our first fleshly contact with the moon. Or were they? Walking around on Earth every day,
Are we really talking about this? Like, who first touched the moon, who can call dibs? Really? This is so childish. That's not gonna matter at all, man. It's always who has the power to defend it and who can go there and claim it. If a country has enough resources and can build an army and send it on the moon and say this is mine, nobody can do anything about it.
Surrounded by material that recently was in outer space. Hundreds of metric tons of extraterrestrial rock falls to Earth every year, some from the moon, but most from asteroids. Ejected by a high-speed impact and eventually caught by Earth's gravity.
Yeah, if you talk like that, I'm pretty sure there are lots of stones here on Earth that we might find in the future that contains moon rocks. Because millions of years ago, an asteroid collided with the moon and those rocks came to the Earth. We even have the Martian stones here. We could uncover that too. Millions of years ago when the Mars was hit with a massive asteroid, chunks came to the Earth. Yeah, so...
Some pieces are big enough to see, but most are pulverized by our atmosphere during entry into tiny particles that disperse in the air, becoming a tiny fraction of the very dust and dirt we clean up and breathe in every day. There's microscopic space dust, pieces of asteroids, and even the moon all around us. In fact, there might be
Well, technically, when a planet, hit Earth and created this level of debris, then that debris became moon. So the moon already has lots of earth stone in it too, just like the planet that struck the Earth. Both Earth and the planet that struck the Earth, both element is in the moon. So technically Earth is already in the moon.
Microscopic pieces of the moon under your bed right now, or even under your fingernails, which means the first human to have fleshly contact with lunar material was the first Homo sapien hundreds of thousands of years ago to walk on dirt. We are still studying exactly how much cosmic dust is in the air that we breathe every day, but it's safe to say that every once in a while you inhale some material that was recently in outer space, some of which thousands of years ago was on the moon, was the moon. And just like other particulates in our atmosphere, large enough pieces get trapped in the mucus that protects our lungs, meaning that picking your nose is gross, But every once in a while, a booger could literally be out of this world. And as always, thanks for watching.
Yeah, so basically who owns the moon? Like I said a million times already, whoever has the powerful army who goes on the moon says this is mine, all mine. Nobody comes here, and then there's a war. Yeah, it's basically bar rule of price. Anybody, yeah, you want some, and whoever is left is left. Yeah, that was who owns the moon. Alright people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the other reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast for the playlist. Check out the end cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.